morning? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Welcome to Unity of Tucson. I'm just taking it all in. I'm Reverend Jonathan Zenz. I'm the senior minister here at Unity of Tucson, and this is a spiritual community where all people are welcome. We are here to celebrate love. So what do you say we celebrate love today? Does that sound like a good thing to do? If you feel like standing and moving your body, you are welcome to as we open the day with our opening song. My eyes are wide and open. My eyes can see. My mind is filled with knowing. My mind believes. I am awake. I am awake. Once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth that cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. My heart is clear and growing. My heart can see. My soul is full of knowing. My soul believes. I am awake. I am awake. Once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth that cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. Once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth that cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. Yes, once again, good morning, beautiful humans. It is a lovely, lovely Sunday, another glorious Sunday here at Unity of Tucson. Like I said, we are a spiritual community. Our point and purpose here is to teach practical tools for a better life. What I have found through my practice of spirituality and engaging in spiritual practices consistently and on a regular basis is that my life has gotten better. And so that's what I bring to you as an option. Let's make our lives better together through practice. What do you say? Yeah. I started doing this a few weeks ago. If you have a smartphone and you would like to pull that smartphone out and go to either YouTube or Facebook or the live stream on our website, I would love for you to just put into the chat function a hello to everybody who is watching online. Grateful to have everyone watching online. And when you're complete with that, please make sure you turn your ringers off and then you can put your phone away. See how that works? We are here not to teach anyone what to believe, but to engage in deepening into an understanding of what it is we individually believe, because it is our beliefs that set the creation and demonstration of our experience. And so as we believe, so flows our life. So today, you may not believe everything you hear, and that's okay. But I do think that you will tap into something that you do believe, and that's the thing to take a look at. I'm so grateful for that opportunity. We have a vision and mission here at Unity of Tucson that we carry in our hearts, and I would love for you to share with me out loud the words of our vision statement. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. The vision is how we see the world, and the mission is how we get there. So let us share together the words of our mission statement. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. If you're joining us for the first time today, if you're online joining us for the first time, I would love to love for you to let us know that you've joined us. If you would go to unitytucson.com/connect and fill out some information there, we'd be delighted to make the connection and get back to you, and always grateful to have our virtual community join. And know that your energy is felt right here in this room as well. And you know, we are one big expansive God energy, and let's really celebrate that we are all connected. Grateful for that. If you're here visiting us for the first time in the room today, if you're comfortable with standing up and identifying yourself, we would love to give you a gift. So is there anyone who's joining us for the first time today? Grateful to have you here. Thank you so much. Yes. As they bring the gifts around, I invite you to remain standing. I invite you to remain standing because not only do we have this physical gift for you, but I want you to know that we have done our research. And in our research, we have found out something about you because we knew that you were going to be joining us today. We had this sense, we knew. And here's what we found out. Is everyone ready? 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. Yes, you are. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, shining your light and sharing your magnificence. Now, we say that we've done our research about you because, well, frankly, we have done our research about ourselves, and every single person we encounter is a reflection of something inherent within each and every one of us. And so, by saying you are magnificent, we are saying that you are a reflection of that which is inherent within us. So let us all collectively say this together. I am magnificent. How does that feel? Oh, it feels kind of uncomfortable, but okay. The funny thing is, when I first started doing this, I had that sense of discomfort, right? Because it's like, how dare I say I'm magnificent? But I think we should really say it with gusto. What do you say? 1, 2, 3. I am magnificent. That is the truth. Let's celebrate that today. Would you please welcome to the stage our keeper of the flames, Lynn Peterson. Lynn is here to light the flames of faith, this ceremony, this ritual that we have adopted here, which is a recognition that all faith traditions, all spiritual paths, all religious ideologies, they're all born out of one thing. What we teach here in the Unity movement and in New Thought in general is that everything is an expression of love. So all faith traditions are born out of love. So let's celebrate that today by lighting a candle for each one of these traditions as we begin with the Tao. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we light a candle for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony, and for any seekers who may be as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we keep open for them in our own hearts. This final candle we light is the healing candle. The healing candle represents the uncovering of the God essence at the core of all creation. For what we teach here in Unity and in the New Thought movement is that when we recognize God at the core of all that is, we experience healing, both spiritually and physically. And so this is your candle for whatever's in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. The candle here on your left is our peace candle, which we keep consistently illuminated with this understanding that it represents the consistent illumination of peace in our hearts. And as we allow that inner illumination of peace to inform our thoughts, our deeds, our intentions, our words, we create more peaceful experiences of this thing called life. And we get to be centers of peace, radiate that peace out into the world, and create a more peaceful world for all. So let's honor this candle by saying together the prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established and peace begins to reign in the world. Indeed it does. Well, how are you today?
Feeling a little underdressed.
Well,
I didn't know it was a formal occasion.
You didn't know that I was going to be wearing a suit today.
No.
No, that's okay.
If I'd known, I would have dressed a little more formally and,
You look great. You know what?
Fancy.
Come as you are.
I know.
That's what I was saying. Like, be who you are. It's all good.
But I have to give you a hard time. I mean, how often do we see you in a suit?
You're the only one who's allowed to give me a hard time. Because you're my mother.
Wow, the allowances I'm allowed.
So my mother, Lynn, is here to talk about last week's assignment. So if you're new to our community, I give homework at the end of my message each week. Why do I do this? Because that's part of putting this into practice in our lives, to make spirituality practical. I invite you to take away something that you get to work on during the week. And last week what I offered was this: to clarify some misunderstanding during the week, and to activate your expectations for clarity around that misunderstanding. I also invited us all to meditate daily on this idea. Things are thoughts, which is turning it around, because we often say thoughts are things, but I wanted us to meditate this past week on things are thoughts. And these things are thoughts that are projected through the lens of belief and feeling. So tell me what happened for you this week.
Well, I had to tamper myself down from being very, very frustrated with a parent of two very high needs children, because she constantly forgets when our meeting times are, and wants a meeting time some other time, and unfortunately, I don't always have that to provide. So she did this one this week was 10 minutes before our meeting was supposed to start. And I had to walk away and go and meditate to get myself back into a better space before I could sit and finish talking to her. So I excused myself, which helped. But that's a frustration I have. So I have to figure this coming year how to communicate better that these meetings that we're having for their children are of the utmost importance, and they need to be there when we ask them to be there. And if they can't, let us know ahead of time. We can change things if I know ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that's my...
So last week was all about communication.
Yeah.
And just like taking those steps to activate communication and being clear, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to confront anybody, but just being clear on what the expectations are. I mean, that's a great spiritual practice.
Yeah.
Be clear about what your expectations are. And as you activate those expectations in your life, see what happens. So tell me did you have any thoughts around things are thoughts?
Not a lot, no,
Okay.
unfortunately. It's
That's
been a
all
week.
right.
Hey, I'm being honest. It's been a week.
F. No, thank you so much for sharing that today. Grateful to you. It's Lynn Peterson. Normally at this time, I would invite our prayer chaplain of the day to offer a reading and an affirmation and a treatment. Today is a little bit different, and you'll understand why in just a moment. But I do want us to share this month's affirmation out loud together. So would you just take this moment to just relax right where you are? I'm going to say the words of the affirmation through once, and following that, I will invite us all to say these words together, and they will appear on the wall so you'll be able to read them. But just listen to the words of this affirmation and check in to see what it feels like for you. The affirmation is this: I am powerful, capable, confident, and self-assured. I know this because I know who I am. Just take that in. And now let's say this together. Here we go. I am powerful, capable, confident, and self-assured. I know this because I know who I am. Let's say that one more time for good measure. I am powerful, capable, confident, and self-assured. I know this because I know who I am. Let's take a moment. Just relax and allow the power of the affirmation to resonate with you.
so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. I will share, 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 I will share this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love.
Right here in this moment, right here in this pure, perfect moment, I open myself up and invite us all to be opened to this understanding that there is an infinite power and presence that is letting itself be known as all creation. God, the infinite power of creation, the energy behind all that is, the principle that has manifested itself as life, as light, as love, as peace, as beauty, as power, as joy. And I trust and know that God being infinite, there can be nothing separate from it. And so we are that very power. We are the light, we are the life, and we are the love of this thing called God, this magnificent principle and power. And in understanding this, I affirm on behalf of each and every one of us here that the infinite creative power, the aspect of creation, is active purposefully in the lives of each and every one of us. As we move through this thing called life, we are purposeful in the experience, in the expression, and in the spreading of the love. And it is with gratitude in my heart and overflowing that I simply allow this to be as I relax, trust and know that my word spoken becomes the law of my life and the law for each and every one of us to the degree that we allow this unfoldment. We decide. And in that decision, I trust it is good and very good. And knowing this to be so, I affirm it by saying, and so it is. Amen. I will share, 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 I will share this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, this love, this love. I would like to invite to the platform someone that we are honoring here today, which is why we did not have our prayer chaplain. Today we're going to have the distinct privilege to bear witness to the installation of Reverend Felicia Searcy as the staff minister here at Unity of Tucson. So would you please join me here on the platform, Felicia? It's a very formal occasion, which means we wear our ministerial regalia.
But we're irreverent as we're reverent.
Yes, I'm the very irreverent reverend. I mean, I think anyone who's a minister in New Thought and Unity is irreverent in their ministry. Members of the community of Unity of Tucson, it is my joyous privilege today to officially install as staff minister of this church, Reverend Felicia Searcy. So grateful you're here.
Thank you.
Reverend Felicia, being duly qualified for such responsibility by having completed Unity's field licensing training path, she consistently demonstrates her understanding of the principles of Unity. Her high spiritual consciousness makes her an invaluable asset to our community. Her caring and dedication have endeared her to the hearts of many. Ministry is a profession in the highest sense. It is also a business requiring management skills and leadership ability, yet it is something still more. It is a calling, an inner prompting to serve God, self, and humankind. It is a challenge to live by spiritual principles. It is a dedication and a consecration to the truth of these principles. It is a commitment to share these principles with others that their lives may be transformed. Reverend Felicia first felt the call to ministry when she pioneered a Unity church in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. She began as a lay person in the small rural town, and as the church grew, she grew. She was eventually ordained through the field licensing program and served that ministry for 15 years. Some months ago, she came to me to speak with me to let me know that although she had not been active in ministry for the last decade, she once again felt the call. And so I have welcomed her as a staff minister. Now, a staff minister is a volunteer, and volunteering in service as a minister is one of the highest callings there is. Our philosophy, our teaching, and our ministry of healing are rooted in the basic principles of Unity. And those principles are, 1, God is all there is. It is the infinite creative energy of love. 2, human beings are inherently divine. 3, thoughts and beliefs create the events and experiences of our lives. 4, affirmative prayer and meditation are the practical tools we teach and use to design our life's events and experiences. And 5, we choose to live from and activate this spiritual teaching beyond an intellectual understanding. That is, we allow it to be in our heart. Reverend Felicia, do you accept as your faith the truth expressed in these statements of principle?
Yes.
Will you, to the best of your ability, let these principles continue to guide your life?
Absolutely.
Will you help all those who come to you to understand the truth that we are immersed in the Spirit of God, that we are of God, that we are one being?
Yes.
Do you believe that the events, situations, and circumstances which we attract into our experience are the results of that which we think, feel, and imagine, and that the person who embodies what they want to attract, regardless of what appears, will eventually experience in the outer realm what they have so faithfully seen in the inner realm?
Okay, can I just break here for a second to say, can we get an amen? On that one? Yes.
Yes, good. Amen. I'm not great when you go off script. Actually, I do pretty well when everybody goes off script. I'm totally good. Felicia, Reverend Felicia, you have dedicated yourself to live and teach these principles of truth. Your affirmation of faith makes all of us aware that the presence, which is God, is manifest in each of us. I see this in you in every interaction I have with you.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan.
Your friends, licensed Unity teachers, and fellow ministers rejoice that you have entered upon this path of service. We know that the light of truth will always guide you, and that the presence of God will always sustain your ministry of loving service. And so I charge you, Reverend Felicia Searcy, as you progress as staff minister of this church, to remain steadfast and unwavering, to know that divine principle is the only power, to know that the presence of God will sustain and strengthen you, and to know that one mind will inspire your loving, consecrated service. Will you keep this charge to the best of your ability to do so?
Absolutely.
Will the members and friends of this church please stand if you are able? I charge you, members and friends of this church, to help Reverend Felicia, to honor Reverend Felicia, and to support Reverend Felicia with your prayers, with your dedication, and with your love. Will you keep this charge to the best of your ability to do so? Yes. Amen. You may be seated. Thank you.
I did preach in Tennessee for 15 years, I'm just saying.
I have conferred with the board of directors of this church and reaffirmed that it is the will and desire of this church that Reverend Felicia Searcy be installed as staff minister. And so, Reverend Felicia Searcy, acting upon the authority vested in me, I hereby do install you as staff minister of Unity of Tucson. I present to you your new staff minister, the Reverend Felicia Searcy. And because this is the way that it works, you get to go straight to work. Reverend Felicia has a message she would like to share with us.
And if you could set the timer, because I am a minister and I do officially have the microphone, so just saying. So, yeah, Jonathan asked me, so y'all can have a seat. He did invite me to share for about 10 minutes. He called it a power talk. And my sense is so you get to get a sense of who I am. And I really gave some thought to what would be a worthy investment of your time, right, that you're here on a Sunday morning. There was a gazillion other things that you could have been doing. What would be a worthy investment of your time to really forward our understanding of the most potent law, principles in the entire universe, which is what we teach right here. And there were two principles that Jonathan shared that came to mind specifically to go deeper into. So before I do that, I want to invite us to put it in context so we have something to apply it to. I so appreciate the work that you do, Lynn, because several careers back, I was a speech therapist and worked in special ed. And so it's really important for me to put it in practical context. So with that, as we know that we are these amazing creators, I invite you right now to bring to mind something that you really want. A deep desire that's been bubbling up in the very core of your being that maybe you've been having a conversation with saying, that's unrealistic, I'm asking for too much, I should be happy with what I have so much, who am I to have more? Whatever the conversation is, I want you to bring that thing that's been floating on the peripheral of your desire, understanding that H.M. Lee Cady in Lessons in Truth tells us that our desire is actually life force energy seeking expression. And so when you're answering the call of your desire, you're actually answering the call of spirit. So bring it to mind right now. Let's play in it. Y'all with me? Do I have you? All right, good. So I remember when I first got into Unity that I knew how to dream. I just didn't believe the dream was for me. I believed that it was possible for everybody else, but it wasn't possible for me. I felt so disconnected, so separated, so banished by spirit, that anything that I wanted was going to have to be something that I was going to have to work really hard at and actually hide it from spirit, that it wasn't a safe place to go. And I remember feeling the depth of desperation that a portal opened up, that I heard myself saying, something's got to give. Something's got to change. I can't continue this way. Now, the gift of being in this study and staying with it is that we're always being invited to challenge what we currently believe. And the portal doesn't require as much work to open up in order to make ourselves accessible to life force energy, to spirit that's always here. That today we learn to listen to the feather rather than to the 2x4. But then right? I needed the 2x4. And I'll never forget when I first walked into a Unity church, I heard two things that literally grabbed me by the back of my neck and caused me to sit up and pay attention. And quite frankly, actually scared me a little bit, because if I thought, oh my God, if I really believe this, maybe God's going to come after me. But there was something in me that kept me coming back. And the two principles that I heard, and Jonathan referred to it so beautifully this morning. First principle, that what we teach in Unity, what we teach in New Thought, that the essence of God is love itself, that God is only love. Now, let's take this a step further. If God is the creator of all, it means that everything created is created in the essence of love, which means me, you, all of us are created in the essence of love. We are not only the expression of love, but we're the extension of love. Two things that go with that. I am the extension of love, and then in the 3D realm, I am loved beyond measure. Imagine if we organized our life around that principle to such a degree that everything was guided from that. But wait, there's more. As a result of that knowing that we're loved, then we can accept the second gift, which is what we talk about in Unity. We have this unprecedented capacity to create anything that we desire. It's breathtaking how powerful we are. And what is that creative capacity? It's our thinking capacity. I love that Charles Fillmore talks about that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And thoughts create things, and things are the reflection of the thoughts that we're thinking, right? I wasn't here last week, but the homework that you shared. I have a good reason. Now I have to start giving reasons why I'm not coming to church, right? But that principle that we have the capacity to create, and it's what we think, and if we go even further, really what it is, it's our imaginative faculty. That one of our powers is our imagination, and that we have the capacity to consciously form images in our imagination, which then becomes the genesis of everything. In fact, let me read from Napoleon Hill. Reverend Jonathan mentioned that I'm no longer in pulpit ministry. I got called to take this out to the secular world, that my ministry, I started a business where I actually help heart-centered entrepreneurs establish business based in spiritual principle. That's what I'm up to in the world now, which I absolutely love. And I love being back in a spiritual community. But here's what Napoleon Hill. So the reason I share that is because I've spread out, that I study other writers. So Napoleon Hill, the quintessential human potential teacher of the 20th century, says this about imagination. It's the most powerful, potent, miraculous, inconceivable force that the world has ever known. It is the organizing principle of all that is. All right, so we know that, right? We know that we have this powerful imagination. Now, how do we unlock that power? Well, again, being practical, I go to Wallace Wattles, whose work The Secret was based on, who talks about how we unlock this power in a very practical way. He says this: a person's way of doing things is the direct result of the way we think about things. So we know that how we think about things is how we do things, which then creates the results of our life. It creates our experience. He says to do the things in the way you want to do them, you will have to acquire the ability to think the way you want to think. We have the ability to choose how we think, which then dictates everything. It becomes the organizing pattern for us and this energy around us. Now, he takes it a step further. To think the way you want to think, you have to think truth regardless of appearances. You have a dream, you have a desire that's bubbling in the chamber of your heart. You have appearances. Jonathan is always asking us to look beyond appearances. That the dream is bigger than the appearances. So how do we do that? So when he says that we have to think truth in the face of conditions, what's truth? There are two truth statements that are the foundation upon this work for me. And one of them, Jonathan just basically said, that I am connected, you are connected to a source that knows all things. We cannot be disconnected from the very power that created all of creation. We are one with that. Second truth statement, that source, power, energy moving through me is bigger than any outside factor condition. When I really come home to knowing those two statements, I'm doing what's called generating a state of being, where now I'm receptive to ideas and possibilities that begin to drop in. So as you're working with those truth statements, you start opening that portal again that I mentioned earlier and allow yourself to hear the guidance of spirit in the form of divine inspiration, divine ideas. And it's in that state that you take action. In order to get the things that you want, you have to be able to do the things that you know you need to do. I just paraphrased Wallace Wattles. And in order to be able to do that, you have to think truth. I'm connected to a source that knows all things. In this state, I have this idea. I not only think this, but now I take action from that state of awareness. Here's why that's so important. The way in which you take the action, the who you're being in that state of action, will determine how you take that action and then what's the result. I can take the same action coming from a place of catastrophe nipping at my heels, trying to avoid disaster, right? Or I can take it as knowing who I am, as the extension of love. That's the mastery. The mastery is being in that state of knowing truth before a single thing in your world gives you permission to own that truth, to act from that truth, as that is your reality before your world changes, and doing that over and over, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, right? As the transformation happens in you, and then the outer world organizes accordingly. It's law. It's law. So, my invitation for all of us is to do whatever Jonathan tells us to do. Because the man is brilliant. And I want to say this. It is my absolute joy to be able to be here. I love what I do. I am not called back into pulpit ministry. I'm very clear about that. And I am just hungry for spiritual community. And it is my joy to be able to serve you in this way. You will be hearing more. I have the honor of forming and heading up small groups. And so we'll be giving more information out about that as the summer progresses. But I so look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. My heart is filled to be able to be part of such a remarkable, loving, compassionate, faith-filled community. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of you. God bless.
Reverend Felicia, seriously, thank you so much. On special occasions where in my previous ministry in Toronto, I had the honor of installing a minister as a staff minister there as well. And I always ask, whenever we have occasions like this, what song would you like? Because I usually pick the songs. Melinda and I will talk, and we'll pick the songs, and it's usually me. But I asked Felicia, and I said, what song would you like? She chose as today's featured song, a glorious song by Ricky Byers and Michael Beckwith that speaks to exactly what she was just talking about. So here, please welcome our honored musical guest today, Charlie Hall, to sing Use Me.
God so much more than the earth and the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you. Here I'll abide as you show me all I must do. And God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Charlie Hall. Always grateful to have you join us, Charlie. Thank you. Like, do I leave it on? Do I take it off? I'm not that irreverent. Ooh, the anticipation, right? I mean, there's nothing much more to be said. But I want to talk about another aspect that is a powerful power that is part of each and every one of us. And it's going to probably sound a little odd, but I have these words written up on my notes screen. The first 5 words written there are these: every day a little death. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Every day a little death. Now, besides being rooted in my previous life as a musical theater actor, those are the lyrics from a song. They're actually very powerful words, and I'm going to tell you why. One of the powers that we have is the power of elimination, the power of release, the power of letting go. And we are always, always giving way to some greater expression of ourselves. And so when I think about those words, every day a little death, that means that some aspect of me is being shed that is no longer required for my most magnificent expression as this thing called life. And we're all going through this, whether we are aware of it or not. It is happening all the time. We are in a consistent state of dying as we shed what no longer works for us. So Reverend Felicia, spoke about being in pulpit ministry for 15 years and saying, I am complete with this. I'm going to shed what this looks like, and I'm going to step into something new, which led her into a new career path for the last 10 years. And at some point, she found her way right through those doors, sat down, experienced what there is to experience here, and came and had a chat with me and said, I'm feeling the call once again. And so that's the great thing, is that we are never stuck where we are because we can let go of the things that no longer serve us. And if we are willing to do that, then We are constantly being used as this creative principle. Taking a step into ministry is truly a most profound expression of doing just that, letting go of what you think you know. When we formalize through a ceremony the installation of a minister, it is not, although we do laugh because life is meant to be joyful, it is a high calling. It is a very sacred thing that we have just done in installing a new minister. I think about, and I mentioned this in the class a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the power of release, the power of elimination. One of my favorite things that I do every year is take a trip to Kauai, and I go to the Hindu monastery on the island of Kauai, and the monks that are there renounce their lives to such a degree to step into being a Hindu monk that they actually perform funeral rites for their previous life. And then they never speak of that life ever again. And trust me, the people that go to the monastery always get them to try. They always try to get them to speak about their previous life. But it is so ingrained in them that that no longer has relevance for them, that they have stepped into this, that release has opened something up in them. We all can do this. When we release ourselves from that which no longer works for us, we open to that infinite power and presence of love to be the guiding force. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. Because boy, do we want to hold on to those things, don't we? Oh, those are the things that have culminated and show up now as my identity. And what if I let those things go? What happens to my identity? Your identity is always intact because you are always God. Always. You can never not be the infinite. The core of who you are. That's your true identity. Everything else that we layer upon that is just stuff. Do I say it? Yes, I say it. One of my favorite gurus is RuPaul. RuPaul is a drag queen, and RuPaul basically teaches new thought. If you ever watch any of RuPaul's stuff, RuPaul is teaching new thought all the time. But RuPaul has basically taken this to a degree to say, we're all born naked, the rest is drag. All of it. This is ministerial drag. Right? Everything that we experience is something that we are putting on. But at the core of it all, when we step back and strip it back and strip it back, the only thing we will find is pure love. Because that's what God is. As ministers, our work is to live by example to the best of our ability. Do we always succeed? Yes. Even when it has the appearance of falling down. That is success in the way that we step back up and say, I know who I am, and irrespective of the circumstances, I am not limited by that. We choose to live by example, to be that beacon of light, not to tell anyone, and this is very important, it is not my job to tell you what to think, ever. My work, my role, the way that I address and take on my role in this thing called ministry is to say, figure out what you think. Because what you think and the way that it is rooted in belief and rooted in feeling is the way that your life is going to unfold. So it is not up to me to tell you, oh, you should think in this manner because your life will get better. No, you get to decide what you think. That is the great gift of the New Thought movement. We are not here to tell anybody what to think or what to believe. We are simply offering an opportunity and an avenue to awaken to those things within yourself. You don't need to become a minister to live the most profound expression of this thing called the New Thought Principles. You do not need to be a minister to master this philosophy. Thank God, right? As we choose to live these principles, it is my desire to live them to such a degree that when I am experiencing life out in the world, not just here on stage, but in every moment of my life, that I have a when Harry met Sally moment. To be so effusive and joyful that people look at me and go, I'll have what he's having. I am firmly rooted in the belief that a new light, a new expansion and expression of the infinite light is expressing itself, is coming into being in this world. And it is evidenced by the aspects of this thing called life that seem contrary to the light. Because when we see the darkness, it is our work to shine brightly and to not be dimmed, to not be overtaken by the circumstantial darkness, to say, I am the light and this is how I choose to be. My tradition began in another branch of New Thought, and the founder of that branch had this to offer. It would be wonderful indeed if a group of persons should arrive on earth who were for something and against nothing. That would be the summum bonum of human organization, wouldn't it? The Latin phrase there means the highest good. Summum bonum, the highest good. My question to you is, are you among that group? Are you among the group who are living life for and never against? What does that mean? For me, what that means is that I find ways to be in cooperation, let go of the perception of competition in anything. It's very easy to fall into competition. We see it all the time, everywhere around us. Are we the ones who are going to align ourselves with the circumstances, or are we going to be the ones who say, irrespective of the circumstances, I choose to love only? Who do you choose to be today? Because that frame of reference, to be the one who says, I will love only, I will forgive everything, and I truly remember who I am, and let this be the guide to life. Perhaps that is how we end up being for something and against nothing. Change comes from working for something, not by attacking the conditions as they are. And that's what we tend to do. We look at the conditions and we say, we must change them. That's that coercion. The opposite of power is force. But we equate those things together so frequently. True power is knowing who you are so that you are not rooted in that competition. What many of us forget is that we are here on purpose to be the light, to be the love, to be the life of God expressing itself magnificently. We are here on purpose, whether we know it or not. The nature of this creative spirit, this pure love that we called God, its nature is expressed as light. If it were darkness, it would cease to be. And so its very nature is light. That is the very nature of each and every one of us. The against nothing part of that means that we are not out there trying to coerce conditions to suit us. No minister can change anything for you. Do you know that? I mean, do you really know that? Because a lot of people come to me like, I need your help. And I'm happy to illuminate something that I see in you. But real change comes from you doing the work that is yours to do in your own heart. We stand up, we choose to stand up as examples of people who have done a lot of this work and continue to do the work. I don't think any minister in this movement truly expects to be put up on a pedestal. And if you think that I am on a pedestal, knock me down, please. Because I choose to be in this with you. I choose to be in this with you. I've chosen to plug in, to be the light. And why I say it that way is because, electricity, that light bulb only works when it's in the flow, if it's plugged in. The bulb on its own does nothing. It does nothing. It's just a thing. When we are plugged in, that's when the current takes over. Without being part of the flow, what happens? Nothing. So just a spark. That little spark, by plugging in, pierces the dark. One of the greatest ministers of all time, although he was quite a challenge for many, one of the greatest ministers of all time had this to offer. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. You get to be a spark to pierce the dark. You get to be the one who illumines this world when you decide that is your path. When I perceive darkness in this world, that is my opportunity to stand up and say, I am a light. When I perceive hate in this world, that is my opportunity to stand up and say, I am love. And this is the truth. And as I express that, as we each and every one of us choose to express what is ours to express, what we find is a shifting collective consciousness that allows love to be the only motivating factor in this world. Now, you may look at the news and you may say, I see everything that is contrary to this. When we look at the news, that is our call to step forth as the light more profoundly. And why? Because one alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. You are the majority, whether you know it or not. We are the spark. We are the light. Never, ever doubt that as we let our light shine, we illumine a path for all. As we illuminate our own path, we illuminate a path for all. And that is what I call being rooted in love. That's being pure love. That's what it is to heed the call. And I'm grateful to you for heeding the call. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I'm grateful to you for heeding the call. You are magnificent. The homework. Everybody laughs. The homework is this. I've given something similar to this in the past. So I'm going to preface by saying ministry is a verb. It is a doing. It is not a being. I don't stand up here and say, I am a minister and you must. No. Ministry is a verb. And so what I would like for each and every one of us to do this week is to identify your verb. To identify your verb. What is it that motivates you into action? By asking not what must I do to be, but rather, what is my being leading me to do? I'm going to say those again. Instead of asking, what must I do to be, ask yourself, what is my being leading me to do? The best being translates always into doing, so shine your light, shine your love, and dive in. Just take that to heart.
soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of light. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, and everything I've ever been has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. Get ready. For rooted in the understanding that we, each and every one of us, are the infinite power and presence of God, rooted in the awareness of the One, being all there is, I allow, by shedding that which has no longer required, I shed and allow the magnificence to shine forth as the light. And I trust we, each and every one of us, do this in every moment, shining that pure love, shining the pure light, shining as life itself. And as we do so, we allow a rootedness in whatever way shows up perfectly for each and every one of us. A rootedness in love only, forgiving everything, and most importantly, always, always remembering who we are. We are the light, we are the life, we are the love, we are magnificent. And so with gratitude overflowing, I simply allow the pure, perfect unfoldment of this word to be acted upon by that infinite law of mind action that says yes, yes, yes. It is constantly giving of itself as each and every one of us for the most magnificent life. And so I affirm it as so by saying, and so it is. Amen. 'Cause here I go. Sacred source. Yes, here I go. ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Thank you. Would you please welcome the secretary of our board, Roberta Latham. I'm going to turn on some lights for you down here. Yes, I have the power to turn on the lights.
How does electricity work? You flip the
There you
switch.
go. Now we can see you.
Good morning, everybody. Wow, there's a lot of people here. I'm sitting in the front. I didn't notice. This is great. I want to talk a little bit about gratitude. We are so grateful for your support emotionally, spiritually, socially, and financially. You knew I was going there, right? Okay. Many ways that you can give financially and keep everything circulating so we can keep this magnificent facility going, and all these wonderful people who are staff and volunteers. My gosh, we've got a lot of volunteers now, which is wonderful, and welcome to you, okay, as a volunteer minister. This is terrific. Many ways that you can give. There'll be this posted up here using a credit or debit card to that extension. People that are watching online, please take note of that also. Or you can go to unitytucson.com, and it's all right there. Or see whoever's in the bookstore this morning. They can help you do that. And the baskets will be coming around. And thanks to Ed, Christina, Ross, and Laura, who'll be coming forward to circulate baskets. You can write a check. You can put cash in there. If you're an automatic giver, which is the best of all, there are little cards in the back of the seats. You can put a card in there to indicate that that's how you give. Yeah, Darwin's holding one up right there. So as they come around, please hold your gift in your hand or in your soul and bless it and contribute what you can. This is an investment. Jonathan said one of the things that this church is a business. When we're running a business, what do we need? Money. Okay, so consider it an investment in our spiritual good and our business. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberta. And let's hold what it is we're offering today and say together our divine givingness statement. I share this gift with love, conscious of the inner presence as the lavish source and substance of my supply. I am rooted in the assurance that this gift blesses Unity of Tucson, and I trust in its ever-present circulation, knowing its blessings return to me. And so it is. Feel free to move your body as the baskets go around. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. Yes, it does. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Sherry Hoffman, our prayer chaplain, will offer a blessing today. Thank you, Sherry.
You're welcome. Well, let's take all that beautiful energy that we just created and focus that on this beautiful basket of blessings and gifts that have been provided to us. And let me acknowledge and let you acknowledge that those gifts that come from our heart is also a source energy just flowing in a monetary form from you to that basket into Unity. And then from us, we share that with love out into the world. And it's just a flow. And that is the blessing that we are giving today. And with that, I affirm it as so, and so it is.
So it is. Amen. Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to quickly let you know about a few things that are happening here. Of course, we have our summer study series happening. Begins this Wednesday. We're going to be studying the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Would love to see you there. It's going to be a great class. My intention is that while we will do some reading, there's going to be some experiential parts of it too. So that should be, I think, a lot of fun. Would love to see you there. You can sign up for that online or in the bookstore. Bears in the Chairs has begun. You can see that we are starting to collect our donations of new unwrapped stuffed animals, and we collect them from Mother's Day until the end of July. They will be collected here and then given to Aviva Family Services, which supports children who are in the care of the Department of Child Safety. Additional to that, we have tote bags. Kathy is holding up a tote bag back there. We have tote bag kits, and if you are good with a sewing machine, or even if you're mediocre with a sewing machine, you can grab a kit, do some stitches in some of this fabric, and create these tote bags. We put the animals in the tote bags to give to the kids, and it's a great opportunity to support the church in that way and to support our community in that way as well. Unitix Happy Hour this coming Friday at 5 p.m. will be at Golden Dragon, 6433 North Oracle. If you have interest in that, you can sign up for that in the lobby. And as I always do, I'm going to say, hi, Molly. Molly is our Unitix coordinator, puts all of these events together, and so grateful for her. And if you have any questions, you can see her about that. You can also see Molly about our Unitix opera outings. The next outing is on June 4th. It will be the opera Hamlet. A really uplifting story, I'm sure. It's Saturday, June 4th at 10 a.m. That happens at the Elcon movie theater, and so we love to have some opportunities to go see the opera. What else is happening? We would love for you to help inspire the youth. If you are willing to contribute a Sunday, just one Sunday, to teach a craft, read a story, to bring your unique self to inspire our kids, we would love to have you. If you're interested in serving in that capacity, please email yfm@unitytucson.com, or I believe there is a sign-up sheet in the foyer as well. There is no choir rehearsal today. If you are in the choir and did not receive the email last night, just wanted to let you know there is no choir rehearsal today. And I have another just call. If you are interested in the business of church and would like to perhaps volunteer as an adjunct board member, you can have a chat with me about what that is, what that means. You are not taking on the liability of this church by being an adjunct board member, but it's a great way to know what's happening here, and I'd love to have that chat with you. Our prayer chaplains in service today are Sherry Hoffman, whom you've seen on the platform today, and also Mirta Nebeker, who will be here. They will both be here in the sanctuary following the completion of the service today. If you have a moment of prayer that is needed, you can seek one of them out, and they will be happy to offer that 1-minute miracle. The other thing that you can do is fill out a prayer request form and put it into the prayer request box, which is in the foyer as well. I want to say thank you to everybody who made today the magnificent and exquisite experience that it is and continues to be. I want to say thank you to our entire tech team, Wally and Don and Rowan, grateful for your service. I want to say thank you to Lynn Peterson for your magnificence, and Sherry and Mirta for your magnificence. Let us definitely honor Reverend Felicia Searcy. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to Charlie Hall, our guest musician today. Of course, Linda Ackerman in the band. And I would like to also acknowledge today, if you ever serve as a greeter or an usher, would you please just stand for a moment so that we can give our love to you and say thank you for your willingness to serve in this community. So grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to say thank you to every single one of you, whether you're online or in the room. I'm grateful that you are making your presence known, not just here at Unity of Tucson, but here in this thing called life. What a blessing you are. You are magnificent, and I will remind myself of that every single day, and I see it only and always when I look into your eyes and see the face of God. As we complete our time here, let us share together this prayer of divine awareness. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen. Feel free to stand as we end the day with the peace song.